During the coronavirus at the beginning, 40 days ago, 28th of January, I got so angry at everything that was happening, and I turned my anger against my partner, and that was it. I would go back to France. Hi everyone, this is Julia from the Beijing Mindfulness Center. Today we're going to talk about violence and anger and how it relates to nonviolent communication. And I'm thrilled to talk about this topic because this is the juice of NVC. A lot of people start learning NVC because they want to never have anger anymore. And I'm here to tell you today that NVC is not going to provide you this. Anger and violence is always going to be part of us. It's part of our human nature. Our brain functions by contrast. We know that there is light because there is shadow. We know what white is because we know what black is. We know what is big because we know what is small. So we know what nonviolence is because we know what violence is. So that's very important that we don't throw ourselves into NVC because we are actually scared of our own violence. If we do that, we are not making any choice. NVC is a choice. Non-violence is a choice. In order to choose, we need to see both options. In order to choose non-violence for ourselves, we need to know what our inner violence and our anger looks like. And so I'm thrilled to take you on a journey today in this video through my own experience of my inner violence and my anger that are still alive for me today. And I know they're going to be my companions for probably the rest of my life. So part number 1, know your violence. I want to say my violence looks like a rageous monster, and I have thoughts where usually I want to quit everything. This is my pattern. I want to take all my belongings and leave. That's usually what I want to do, and I did it in the past. So that's how I know that this is what my inner violence wants me to do. And I don't really have images of hurting others, but I have a lot of thoughts of blames. I want to destroy the others with words. And in terms of body expressions, if I have the opportunity to look at myself in a mirror when I'm angry, and if you have the chance to do that when you see the violence in yourself and the rage, it doesn't matter if it's against your child or against your partner, against a colleague, if you have the chance to look at yourself in the mirror when violence comes into you. And look at yourself and look at who are you when you're in rage. Who is this part of you that is taking over? What does it look like? So in my case, when I look at myself in the mirror, when I'm in that state of rage and violence, inner violence, what I see in the mirror is the face of my father. I see his dark eyes. I see his fierce face. And I see myself doing things that I saw him doing, such as withdrawing, stopping to communicate completely, and getting deeper and deeper into silence, which is extremely violent for the other, who doesn't stand a chance in understanding what's going on. So I know my angry character. I know where it comes from. I know what kinds of thoughts come in. I know the expressions on my face. I know the sensations in my body. So when it comes, I can label it. I can say, "Whoa, hello, angry friend. I know you're here and I know you want me to listen." And then I can start having a dialogue with that old angry friend of mine. So first step, I want to encourage you, whenever you see violent thoughts in yourself, rage, anger, learn to know who is that part of you. It's not the whole of you. You have a part of you that is joyful, and a part of you that is caring, and a part of you that is loving and playful. This angry and violent part of you is just one part of you. So if it's a part of you, that means that you can also step out of it and observe it. I encourage you to do this work of getting to know your anger. Because the more you want to suppress it, and the more it's going to hit and kick inside of you. When I say hit and kick, I mean throwing thoughts at you and throwing tensions in your body and stuff like that. So that you finally acknowledge it and notice his or her presence. It depends what the gender of your angry character is. All right, so know your anger. My second recommendation is to allow the intensity of the anger. Just allow it to be there. I recently worked with a coach who gave me a big insight on how to be with this anger when I'm in this kind of moments when I'm completely down and I have all kinds of catastrophe scenarios, this what I just described, like wanting to take all my belongings and leave the country, and especially during the coronavirus at the beginning, 40 days ago, 28th of January, I got so angry at everything that was happening, and I turned my anger against my partner, and that was it. I would go back to France, and I was really, really down. And that coach that I talked to told me, when I'm facing this part of me that is one of the multiple mechanisms of the ego, I don't stand a chance. It's like the tiger is in the room, so it's totally useless to try to apply any process or spirituality, practice on it. It's like the tiger is in the room. You're not going to transform it like this in a cat. So just allowing the intensity. That doesn't mean acting on it. So here I want to draw your attention on the words I'm using. I'm not saying acting on rageous thoughts, going and committing violent acts. I'm not in agreement with that. But allowing the intensity is a bit like when I worked as a Montessori educator. The first year, we had a child who was sometimes throwing tantrums, and he would go in rage whenever a child would tell him, "You're not my friend." And that would trigger immense pain and rage for him, and he would just sit and take his water bottle and throw it, and take his shoes and throw them, and if a child was passing by near him, it would just hit him. It was emotionally so charged that I could feel it in my own heart, in my own body. I had a difficulty to maintain empathy with him. I would go into sympathy. And probably it would resonate with my own rage that I have sometimes when I feel lonely and desperate. So I could feel him. So what we were doing at that time with him, we will go into ourselves and dig into the huge resources of love and firmly contain him, even physically at times when he was trying to hit other children. So firmly maintaining him and telling him it's okay to be angry. It's fine, but we don't hit. And that's what we want to do with our own anger, with that part of us that acts like a child, a rageous child. We want to hold this anger firmly. So in those moments, what I do is that I put my phone as far of me as possible, because I know if I write a message in that state, and you can hear my voice, some emotions are coming right now. My voice is shaking because I know if I send a message in that state, I'm going to send really hurtful stuff to the other. with the intention of hurting the other. So I put the phone as far away from me as possible, and I take space. I ask for space to my partner. I say, I need space right now. I'm going to work on myself. And I stay with it. And when I managed to do that, and I had, there was a situation recently that happened, and I really managed to do that. I really managed to let the intensity of the anger without acting on it. Just like a child, allowing that child to feel whatever he's feeling right now, because this is what is present now. And from there, that's the beauty of it. When we can just stay present with it, it transforms. The last teaching or learning moment from my own experience is that same time that happened recently, when I really could allow myself to feel my anger without sending any angry message. I decided to even take it a step further. I went for a walk, and I basically went for a walk with my anger. And I just allow my anger. And allowing my anger doesn't mean also to ruminate and to allow more and more thoughts to come. I had a real dialogue, inner dialogue. I know it sounds maybe a bit crazy for some of you who are not really familiar with work on inner part or the ego, but really that's how it works. So I had an inner work with my anger, and as I was totally welcoming my anger, at some point I asked my anger, can you just tell me what's behind you? What are you trying to protect? I know that the mechanism of the ego works so that they are guardians. We have guardians. So this angry part of me is a guardian and is guarding some deep inner pain behind. So as this guardian, ask him, for me it's a masculine character, what are you trying to protect? And it said, I'm trying to protect you from feeling pain. And I say, I want to feel the pain. Let me discover that pain. And so the anger took a step back, agreed to let me connect with my pain. And so I could feel the pain in my belly, and I could see the thoughts, the angry thought being not really far. And each time they were coming, I would say, just please step back. I just want to connect with my pain. And so I could really put my attention on the physical sensation of that pain and really stay with it without attaching any thoughts to it. And I realized this pain is not that painful. It's not that painful at all. I'm just scared of it. And that's where the anger comes in, to protect me from feeling the pain. And then I walked and I stayed with the pain. I just keeping my attention on there. And then I sat and then I cried until there was no more sensation in my belly. As a summary, first, know who your anger is. What is name or her name? What does your face look like when you're angry? What are the sensations in your body? Second, allow the intensity, allow the tiger to exist, but protect others at the same time. And third, ask the tiger, what is his message? Thank you for watching. Bye.